Hey everybody, it's your boy Dan Bag. And Friday, we sat down and had a conversation on the other morning show with Judge Joe Brown. So here it goes.
Welcome to the other morning show, Two Powers Mind.
I'm Dimebag Darley, and today is August the 3rd, 2018.
The year of our Lord. Today's guest is Judge Joe Brown. We all know who he is, what he's about. I just want to say thank you, Judge, for taking the time to check us out. And
no problem.
Judge, I wanted to get your input on some stuff that happened probably like a couple of weeks ago. The stuff when the brothers over down there in South Central LA ran out these white supremacist groups that was down there was going to protest Maxine's Waters headquarters, and about after that happened about the white supremacist sneak attacks on black civilians in California. Immediately after that happened, like with the girl in Oakland on the train platform, the guy down in Long Beach that got shot and killed inside a bathroom at a family reunion, and then there was another guy I think that was outside of Anaheim, California.
Yeah. Make sure when you do this, future credibility, not you so much, but when you use those terms, make sure that you got all the I's dotted and the T's crossed for future credibility.
Okay.
In other words, it doesn't do good for anyone to start talking about it was a coordinated thing, and then it pops up that it was just random.
Right. No, I wasn't saying that it was coordinated. It just seemed kind of weird how those incidents took place after that.
Well, maybe, but this has been going on for a long time, and you just haven't had much attention paid to it.
Right.
So it may be that it's just statistical math. It comes out when somebody starts reporting on it now, it starts to look like it's all the same group planning this. But when you start using the term white supremacists, I think that's not doing good in terms of centralizing what you have. You've got a lot of stress out there in the world right now in America, and people have no explanation, so they scapegoat us. Now, that may be ordinary random white folk, or it may be some specific organization of white folk. I think we need to find out first.
Right.
But anyway, stuff happens. So why are we whining about it instead of doing something about it?
Right. Right. I mean, no one expects those on their knees. But the real thing is, I want to ask you about what's the Trump thing. You know, I mean, just because people are like, oh, he doesn't like women or minorities or Hispanics, he puts them in cages, which we all know, you know, that's been done prior. Do you think there should be a point in time where we all collectively step back, we stop with the stupid action, we recognize this man is the president of the United States, respect the office at least, and then if he does anything outside the Constitution or outside law, then we hold him to task. But keep these stupid-ass feelings that has no relevance in reality kind of to ourselves?
Yeah, you know, in my lifetime, I think probably the most offensive person they've had in the White House has been Ronald Reagan. I mean, that was really garbage, but I love him. I call him Saint Ron. I call him Saint Ron the Reagan, you know. because they love him so much. But that senile scoundrel, he was talking about a figure and the worst of the worst.
Mm.
So if people don't like what Trump does, just take it as a word up, to the wise to consider how they reacted to Ronald Reagan, and they seem to love him. In my opinion, he's far worse than Trump. Said much more inflammatory stuff. Played the race card all the time, every day.
He did, and they try to make it sound like he was such a American president. I lived during those years. I remember the air traffic controlling nonsense. When he laid them all off. I remember when he got shot by John Hinckley. So
did he get shot? Did he get wounded?
Yeah, he got wounded, but his
Did he? I read an interesting article when I was sitting outside of the sheriff's office one day in a law enforcement magazine. It indicated that every American president since Nixon, LBJ rather, had worn garments made out of this material that was completely bulletproof to 22, 32, 380, 38, 9mm, and 45.
And you're not talking about
the day that he supposedly got shot by Hinckley with a 38.
Man.
So according to this, he was bulletproof to it.
So it's just the Secret Service agents that had no protection?
The Secret Service agents have some protection, but in other words, the president got shot. He's been shot. Oh, wow, what a PR opportunity to pretend this fool actually got wounded and was seriously hurt.
Yeah, but...
at the same time, you remember the Pope got shot in an assassination attempt. They showed all kinds of pictures of him up in the hospital with tubes running out of him. They didn't show a single shot of Reagan in the hospital. And he came bouncing out just as goofy as ever. I mean, it's just the presidents routinely wore body armor, and their suits were made out of this stuff.
But Judge, that event had some real life consequences. We had actual assault rifle bans because of the Secret Service.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah.
That fool, the Brady thing, more deserving to be shot up fool, was shot. I couldn't think of a better one with his demagogic self. So, yeah, Brady got wounded and got jacked up, but Reagan got hit but didn't get wounded.
Wow. I mean, I understand they're always going to take care of their own at the top, the puppet.
Yeah, it was bulletproof, but it was a good PR opportunity, propaganda thing. Hero Ronald Reagan. Oh, yeah, sure. Television. Yeah.
I totally get what you're saying. I mean, as soon as you think that you have an overall sense of what's cracking or what's going on, you realize it's been a total delusion. Santa Claus isn't real. Easter Bunny's not real. And a lot of our icons are also fake as well. Take Andrew Jackson.
And you got a lot so much came out of wrong with the Reagan administration. That's what's wrong with health care now.
Mm-hmm.
Mental health care.
Yes.
You got roughly 4.5 times what the highest paid man on the line was making. After that, it's jumped up now. It's 4,000 or 5,000 times as much.
Well, they have trust funds, Judge, to make for their descendants and ensure that they're economically free.
And those trust funds were limited before the Reagan administration in terms of tax laws and consequences and regulations, and now they're practically unlimited. And they go down to the Bahamas and they get the opportunity to tie up the Bahamian banking and legal system with trust funds
And you know what that means, folks? In perpetuity is forever. Legally. Legally.
It used to be you could fly up a trust fund for life and being plus 21 years. In other words, granddaddy could control what happened to it for the life of his grandchildren. But now there's no limit on it.
Wow.
And the Bahamian Attorney General, who was a fine, beautiful-looking sister at the time I paid a visit down there as a guest of their government, was bemoaning how much time the Bahamian authorities had to spend dealing with, fending off inquiries from the American government to protect their rich American clients.
Wow.
Of the banking system. And what's so bad is the Bahamians can't even use the banking system unless they travel to Switzerland to make deposits in it.
So it's really like an underground Switzerland arm of the secret financial institution to ensure the 1% stays the 1%.
Yeah, exactly. And now the 1%'s worse. At this point right now in America, 3% of the population consumes 95% of the income of the country. 5% benefit from this 95% of the country's income, and the remaining 95% of the population has to share 5% of the income.
And black folks in particular only share 1/2 of 1% of the nation's wealth.
Yeah, and then the other thing is 42 families in the world control and enjoy more resources than more than 1/2 of the population of the planet.
Wow. Judge?
And that started under the Reagan administration.
I want to ask you a question that would actually help people who are not in the criminal courts. I just want to give you a scenario real quick. If a guy walks in there, tries to claim he's some sort of religious guy and that's the reason why he did the crime or was whatever, does that even help?
No. That just adds more to the intent side of the equation. In other words, in American and English law, you have to intend to commit the crime.
Gotcha.
And if you start talking that just adds to the intent side of it. Was he intending to do this? Okay, that shows the intent. I'll give you a hypothetical to explain it. Let's supposing that in your state it's against the law to kick trash cans. Well, there's a trash can behind a screen curtain that you can't see, so there are flies on it or a roach or something running around the outside of the curtain. So somebody kicks the roach and kicks the can. Well, he had no intent to kick the can, and there was nothing against kicking the roach to try to kill it right around on the outside of the screen. So he's not guilty of the offense. But if he knows there's a can behind the screen and he deliberately kicks the garbage can, then that's a crime.
Yes. I see it. I understand it. So that's how we can get people off.
You got a religious orientation or reason or motivation. That's just going to the intent. You intended to commit the act.
Yes. And it's, all too often, you hear people, going there, they try to get the reverend or whoever to write them a letter. And it's like, dude, that's not going to work. Nowadays we have DNA evidence. We have video evidence. So, I guess what I'm ultimately saying is, boys and girls out there, you young folks, if you're thinking that you're going to do some sort of Scarface move and be some sort of drug kingpin and all this and that, you got to realize you're going to be deep six immediately as soon as the authorities realize it's in their advantage to take you in.
Because they already know you're doing it.
Doing something against public peace, dignity, and order, and if it looks like it's concerted, organized activity, it's more dangerous, so the standards of proof drop. And when you get into a conspiracy, that's viewed as being so dangerous that even legal acts done pursuant to conspiracy become criminal acts.
Wow.
So it's looked at as such a threat that the standard of proof drops.
Well, how come we cannot apply that same logic and concepts to white supremacy and the systematic
White
oppression?
supremacy is a label that some of us, in our zeal, have put on something that, when you get down to trying to prove it, does not come out to be a concerted movement like the label white supremacist sounds. It just becomes a mental attitude and an outlook that a lot of white people may have.
Wow.
So that gets into First Amendment stuff. Do you feel superior to these colored people? Well, there's nothing wrong with that. It's your legal right.
And
Do
colored
you
people?
act on it? Well, yes, you may act on it, but there's no concerted effort between somebody that might be labeled the white supremacist number A and somebody who might be white supremacist label G. It's just a matter of attitude or outlook, worldview.
Right.
It's like the equivalent really is there are people who are dog people and people who can't stand dogs. There are cat people and people who can't stand cats. And some people are in the boat. So when you start dealing with white supremacists as a label, it's more like this is a dog person, this is not one.
Wow. Right. And the trick is, how do you disseminate the two?
Well, the trick is having enough masculine fortitude to not be in a position where they can take advantage of you.
Yes.
Yes. They will yell, I walk through the valley in the shadow of death, I fear no evil because I'm the baddest motherfucker in the valley.
Yes.
Come fuck with me while I walk through this valley.
Yes.
You may get me, but it's going to cause damage to you.
Exactly. And you only do it once.
Well, you know, it's a fantasy, but I kind of like the Equalizer with Denzel 1 and 2 because he's walking through sort of as a non-Superman black man who can take care of a lot of business. There's a lot of consequence to messing with him. We have to be more like that.
Yes. Yes, we do.
But we don't have enough males.
Well, we don't have enough effeminate males.
Yeah.
That's the correct
That's it. We don't have enough men. See, masculinity is a matrix of behavioral protocol.
Yes.
It's not how strong you are. It's how strong your mind is.
Yes.
And whether or not you are willing, able, and anxious to do those things that have historically been called upon men to do.
Yes.
And men have been called upon to do. You know, like one of the things in the latest Equalizer 2 is there's a young brother that's got potential in the hood that, you know, kind of gets taken under his wing. And it's interesting, like the brother says, toward the end of the movie, says, sir, what are you?
What did he respond to that with?
He doesn't come up with a response. You have to answer it yourself.
Oh.
Like he thought these gangsters were bad, but collectively all of them weren't as bad as this one man. And he's telling him, you get your head in these books. You want me to do this for you? Read this book and report on it to me.
So he's trying to challenge the young man's intellect to grow so he can become wiser in his dealings in the world.
Yeah, in other words, you got a problem with the gangsters telling you got to go along with their program. Don't worry. They got to get through me to get to you, and that ain't going to happen.
See, and that's this one righteous man. And I call that a righteous man just because I am assuming that if he's willing to stand up and take on these basic savages, barbarians, heathens, whatever you want to call them, to ensure that this young man or young woman gets what they need to survive. That's heroic to me. That's worthy.
See, he's a spy. The plot behind the two stories is that he's supposed to be dead, but he's not. So that's how he outed himself out of the spy business.
So he didn't get burned by the agency that he was working for.
But, you know, he's the avenging angel, so to speak.
Exactly. And we need some, Judge. We really do.
And by the way, it isn't just black folk that benefit. I mean, there was a prostitute in the first one. This one, a rich little girl whose daddy was a Mideastern potentate, mama was an American, and, you know, all kinds of people. Even a rather broke down old white guy.
God help. Well, that's what it's supposed to be about. Seriously, at the end of the day, you know, I had Jane Ellie on the show on Special Report, and she broke it down for us all. We are all basically 32 to 58 degrees of cousins from one another on this planet. We are all one big family. And when you talk about racism or class or sexism, you're really talking about an internal family problem. Now, granted, some of humanity lacks the understanding that they belong to the greater whole and they want to remain separate and pure for various reasons. But that's all nonsense. And honestly, you know, I mean, I hate to even echo Ronald Reagan in this matter, but it's like, if we ever did find out that there was an intelligence outside of us that was collectively manipulating us and forcing us to basically be clowns playing roles on this world stage, then we would rapidly dissolve some of our internal bullshit and come together collectively to ensure that all of us and all of our descendants can prosper and live in a harmonious existence.
Well, yeah, but there is a thing here. If you back off and you raise humanity objectively, you're going to get a pyramid. There are very, 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 very few people at the top of that pyramid, and many toward the bottom. And what that select group at the top does determines what happens for all the rest of them.
Yep.
Part of that very select group at the top, in the process of becoming the alpha animals, wants to acclimate and acquire control of wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Some want to, some can't help but control influence and power because of what they do. And there's an interplay. You see, we don't talk about it much in America, but elsewhere in the world, they go, the proletariat, the common ordinary person, the worker, the intelligentsia, and the rich who control the money.
Right.
The intelligentsia provide the means. The military provides power, but you see, power versus money is one of the stick versus the carrot. The carrot can induce the wielder of the stick to do something, but basically the wielder of the stick can take the carrot if it chooses to do so. So it's an interplay, and then there are a whole lot of other people who more or less either get taken along for the ride or go for the ride because they are induced to do so by an appeal to something that they hold of value. Right now we've got two basic political parties, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, also known as the GOP, or Grand Old Party. The oldest party is the Democratic Party, and the Democratic Party for a long time was devoted to maintaining slavery.
Yes.
And the Republican Party came into being in 1856 as 1854 as an institution designed to further abolition. Now, over the years, things have changed, and particularly they have changed once what was known as the Dixiecrats left the Democratic Party at the end of the 60s and switched over to the Republican Party. The Dixiecrats had been resisting integration or desegregation efforts. They're two different things, desegregation and integration. It is one thing to say you can't use that water fountain, and another one saying we're going to make everybody use that one particular fountain. See, segregation is white only and then colored, but it's not colored only. The whites could use the colored bathroom if they wanted to.
Right.
The whites could drink out of the colored water fountain if they wanted to, but not the other way around.
That's represented today as white privilege. A white boy can walk down the street with an AR-15 strapped to his back. Hey, buddy, what's up? Black guy tries that same deal.
Well, if you get enough black guys, you can do it. U.S.C. Newton and a bunch walked into the California State Legislative Chamber in 1967 strapped down. It promoted a whole lot of very draconian gun control.
That's why,
and I don't think it was a very good thing to have done.
That's
what we called adventurism in terms of the movement, but it was to an extent brought about by, at that time, some political naivety. It looks good 50-some years after the fact. Yes, the brothers were bold, but it wasn't a wise move in terms of what it engendered. But they walk in that way. See, that thing about what black people can and cannot do has got to do with the uniform.
Yes.
You see, I say, understand that if you're looking, we talked about this before, if you're looking at men all over the world, whether you're talking about in the People's Republic of China, whether you're talking about China in terms of the one that's now confined to Taiwan, if you're talking about Japanese, if you're talking about Africans and Lagos, Nigeria, South Africa, Ghana, Kenya, if you're talking about Europeans in Moscow, you're talking about Prague, you're talking about Paris, Rome, Berlin, you're talking about London, you're talking about Native Americans in South America, anywhere, men of power and authority and able to vest violence, dressed the same way.
Yes, sir.
They've got on a suit and tie that's called contemporary urban camouflage. That is the masculine uniform. You take us, you know, we talk about being gangsters, and if you look at Lucky Luciano and
they were dressed.
Fire Lansky, if you look at the Teflon Don, and you look at the Mafia, they're clean. They got on suits and ties, sport coats, you know.
And when's the last time you heard of them getting shot by a cop?
What do we look like? We look like we were pushing a shopping cart with lawn bags in it. We're homeless. You go around looking like you are what is equated with being thug.
Right.
You get treated that way. And if you look like you are being thugged, strapped down, then you get treated that way. You've got three-piece suits on, or the suit and tie on, and you got an AR strapped across your shoulder. You get treated differently than if you don't have that urban camouflage on.
Right. Right.
They have another substitute camouflage, which is almost literally that. you see when you walk through the airport, the white boys traveling, they've got on khakis with all of the cargo pockets, and they've got on the khaki vest to go along with it, and they look like they're getting ready to go on safari. That's also part of the uniform that we don't wear.
Mm-hmm. Because we've been programmed not to wear that, Judge. We have been programmed.
Exactly. We've been programmed to be stupid. In other words, we look at it as something's going wrong because we got jacked up being in the high rent district at 3:30 a.m. with a cracked taillight and the vehicle registration 3 or 4 months out of date. The music turned up so you can hear it blocks away so we can share. And somebody smoking a joint up in there, and with a 2 dime bags of herb.
Yes.
And talking about, man, they picked on us. No, fool, you got yourself busted.
Yes.
You looked like it. You were acting like it.
Yes. Draw the attention. You might as well say, come and fuck me up. Come and fuck me up. I am full. I'm giving all the signs. I'm doing something wrong.
But other groups do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I just don't understand. Like,
look like that, but why call attention to yourself?
Right.
I don't know. I just feel like if you got brown skin, that's all the attention you need to give off. Let alone, because I'm gonna use like an example. Like, I grew up in the city. I lived almost 2 decades in the country, and I live back in the city, and it's a totally different way how they police these communities now compared to when I was a kid, and how they did when I lived in the country. And now that I see back, it's like when I walk out of my house, I got to deal with 3 different police municipalities. They can all mess with me, even if I go to a different incorporated little town or something area. 2 of those main sources is already there with that local police department. So because I live in University City, so I have to deal with University City. Then you got the St. Louis County Cooperative. That's a unit, and I be seeing them harass brothers all day, every day. And you got to deal with St. Louis County.
That's why Black Lives is so important.
It's like I've never seen so many police cars all the time. It just, I don't know if that's the common thing, but it just feels like some things I have read in history books of how the SS units controlled.
They use local police force to round up most of the Jews.
It's like that all the time. Like, as soon as I leave my house, I see this, and I don't know. I guess it's something that I am not used to because I almost lived 20 years in the country, and then moving back to a more urban area, I guess it's like a shock in a way.
Yeah, no. Let me give you the other perspective.
But before you do that, Judge, it's one more thing though. But the crime rate with all these cops up there, it's still people getting robbed. It's still no protection.
But that's part of controlling people with fear, man.
I'm just saying.
Part of what's going on right there is the emasculation of the country in general, and our neighborhoods in particular. They're matriarchy.
Yeah.
When you don't have a patriarchal, masculine community, then you get public disorder, and you get crime, and you get acts committed that grown men ought to tamp down on.
Yes.
You see, that's part of that problem. So that nobody wants to address because that's what the flowers that we want, because so many of them push that agenda personally because they're practitioners.
And they get benefit.
Now,
they actually get a benefit.
Let me give you an example. That stand your ground bit. Stand your ground basically reflects the law that's been in place in self-defense for almost all but maybe 8 states out of the 50 for the last 100 years. But they decided to put that label on it It's like, for example, Full Metal Jacket, a war movie, started talking about locked and loaded. Well, to begin with an American rifle, you can't lock it and load it. If the hammer is not cocked, you can't put the safety on. The drill is you put a live magazine in the weapon when you were getting ready to exit the perimeter. And your sergeant would say, all right, gentlemen, load them up. Let's move out. And then what would happen is he would then give you the command, load them and lock them. And what you would do is you would chamber around and put the safety on. Well, you could put the safety on an American rifle if you had not cocked it. So that was signaling you, okay, I can't put the safety on. I don't have a round chamber. If it gets hot and heavy, I need to have a round in there. So, all right, let's load them and lock them. Chamber around, put the safety on. But the movie started saying lock and load. So now everybody says lock and load, which is not what the official term is. But everybody looks at it that way. So they put this label, stand your ground, as an evil. And look at poor Trayvon Martin and Zimmerman got to stand his ground and kill him with impunity. Well, the person who had to stand your ground right was not Zimmerman, it was Trayvon Martin. And then most recently, just this past week, a black man was in a fast food place getting something for one of his kids when some white race who was drinking thought he had cut the line. He hadn't, but the white racist started acting the fool and cussing at him, calling him the N-word. So the brother quickly left the place, walked outside, and the white boy decides to charge up on him and reach under his coat like he was going for something. And the brother shot one guy, bam, missed it. So they charged the brother with criminal activity, but they acquitted him because under the law that's been labeled stand your ground law, which is nothing new, it's just traditional self-defense. The assailant put the defendant in a position where he thought he was going to be subjected to great bodily harm or death, and he acted reasonably. So he got acquitted. So see, that can work.
And that concludes part one. Stay tuned.